Let's have a look at a defensive strategy when out of possession. This strategy is to cut or block the passing lanes. So when defending and not with the ball, teams will try to stop the opposition to play passes into the spaces between defenders. It basically stops the attack. So to cut or block the passing lanes. We're going to see some examples from the Burnley versus Manchester United game. Burnley are in possession. Now as Phil Bardsley runs with the ball, he's looking for some passing options. He's trying to find some passing lanes. So a passing lane is a gap where a pass can be played in between the opposition's defensive lines. So you'll see 3 possible passing lanes here. Now each arrow represents a potential passing lane. Manchester United are cutting or blocking these passing lanes so that Bardsley cannot find an attacking player. Now, unfortunately for Bardsley, all 3 passing lanes have been cut or blocked. The passes are too difficult to make. This is because the Manchester United defence got close to the players who could receive the ball. So to cut or block the passing lane, it's about making sure that the attackers can't receive the ball in advanced positions, and the team with the ball is forced backwards. So each red arrow represents a pass or a passing lane that is now too difficult to pass into because the Manchester United defenders are too close and can prevent the pass. Because Manchester United cut or blocked the passing lanes, Bardsley was forced backwards and unable to play a progressive pass for his team. You can see that pretty much all the passing lanes are closed off because the defenders are too tight to every Burnley player. So Burnley go backwards. Another example. Now we've highlighted Jesse Lingard of Manchester United and Jack Cork of Burnley. As Cork moves forward, you can see that Lingard blocks the passing lane. He moves just in the same direction so that pass cannot go through. If we move Lingard back, you can see the possible passing lane. So that white arrow there is the possible passing lane that would be open. Because Lingard cut the passing lane, Burnley had to go backwards once again. Burnley are once again forced to go backwards because the passing lanes are cut or blocked. Now, Jose Mourinho's teams are very good at this strategy, blocking or cutting passing lanes to the opposition's most dangerous attackers. And you'll see Jesse Lingard highlighted. He's positioned to block or cut the passing lanes that could develop in the middle, and he's going to block another passing lane in a moment. The Burnley were able to get the ball into the middle of the pitch, but watch how Lingard cuts another passing lane. So Lingard moves forward there, and that passing lane is now too narrow. So once again, Burnley are forced back as Lingard cuts or blocks that passing lane, and they'll have to find another way to get the ball to the attackers. Now it's Burnley's turn to show us how to cut or block a passing lane. As you'll see in this example, they are making the pass to Sanchez more difficult. So both Burnley defenders here, either side of the red line, are going to close that space so the passing lane is no longer possible. And as the ball comes in, the passing lane has been cut or blocked, and Burnley regain possession. So we've highlighted Paul Pogba in this case. Watch Pogba and you can see how Burnley cut or block the passing lanes to him. They're going to prevent him from having an influence. So you can see here Burnley are cutting or blocking the passing lane to Pogba. Therefore, Manchester United have to try another method to get the ball into the attack. So you can see the Burnley players are very close to Pogba, and the Manchester United defenders are reluctant to pass it to him. As the ball comes to Fellaini, you can see that the passing lanes are cut or blocked. So Manchester United have to go along instead to try and get the ball to their influential players. It's more difficult for them to score this way. In this example, see how the Burnley midfielders are trying to find space to receive a pass. However, the Manchester United defence will cut or block the passing lanes to prevent them from getting to the ball first. So these red lines represent the cutting or the blocking of the passing lane, which is what Lingard and Pogba are doing. It means that these two Burnley players cannot receive the pass in a safe way. You can see that Pogba and Lingard are blocking or cutting the passing lanes so that the midfielders have to come short for the ball instead. And once again, Burnley are forced backwards. Another example from the Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur game this time. You'll see Moussa Dembele is trying to find a pass forward. However, Pogba is getting really close to Dele Alli in this situation. This is cutting or blocking the passing lane. So Dembele has to try another way. So Dembele finds Rose, but once again the passing lane forward is cut. So Rose has to go backwards. Now he goes backwards to Vertonghen. However, Manchester United have cut or blocked many passing lanes, which are represented by the red arrows. So Tottenham have to go backwards and are now in a difficult situation, which leads to them giving the ball away. And that white arrow represents the only available pass. So Alderweireld gives the ball away. So these are some examples of how to cut or block the passing lanes. It's a defensive strategy for when a team is out of possession. And this can be used when defending and not with the ball. So teams will try to stop the opposition to play passes into the spaces between defenders. It stops the attack from happening. So to cut or block the passing lanes.